guys for coming back to the MissJudged podcast. If you're not already following, it's at MissJudged, 2 S's, podcast, all one word. I am Alyssa.
And I'm Teresa. And today we have a special guest with us.
We do. We have Jim Curtis in the house. Jim, tell us your social, give us your bio, and then I'm going to tell everyone how we know each other.
Give my bio? You're going to tell everybody how we dated a few years ago?
Well, damn.
Just from
We're going to get right into it?
Right there.
We're going to get right into it. What's my bio? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for many years.
Yeah.
For 25 years. I've started helped run and develop some of the largest companies in wellness. So
Amazing.
WebMD, Everyday Health, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. But along that way, I became a therapist and a coach and a master hypnotist, and really delved. Everything that I would do would be first looking at the psychological reasons for it, and then into the business behind it. And so after 7 or 8 companies, venture capital backed, I decided just to work for myself. And that's what I'm doing now.
7 or 8 companies.
Yeah, no,
humble brag.
A baddie.
We love it. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah. So I have you in my phone as Uncle Jesse.
Awesome.
Guys, if you can't see the video, he looks like a Stamos family member. So
1000%.
Yeah, I already told you the story about Stamos. I've been called that for a lot of years.
Yeah, no, you're Uncle Jesse in my phone.
Nice. I don't know how I feel about that.
No.
I really don't know how I feel about that.
No, Stamos is, we're Greek.
He's
so
also very old.
Yeah, he's like
old.
the Lord and Savior.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
everyone loves
Wait,
Stamos.
is he old?
He's not old.
What is he at?
He's still hot.
Stamos? I don't know. I haven't
he's
seen
still
him
hot.
in many years. Okay.
No, he's always going to be hot.
You guys aren't the same age?
What?
I think I'm a
No,
lot older.
Stamos is older, probably.
Wait, you're older than he is?
Oh, I don't know how old Stamos is.
He's older.
We're good.
That's what we're leaving with.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming on. We're happy to have you. So today we wanted to get, your take on men's mental health when they're like leaving a relationship, maybe thinking of staying, just how to be, because I feel like men are very different from women in that they don't express half as much and they keep a lot in, and there's like a lot of stigmas around mental health with men.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive in.
Yeah.
We're going to just dive right in.
The interesting thing about the end of a relationship, right, is that women stay in a relationship for a year when they're unhappy and just so they can leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And men are, like they're just like, oh yeah, this is it's not great, but it's not going to end. So at the end of it, they're completely taken aback as if she's just gotten up and left.
Right.
We've talked about this.
Right.
Yeah.
And the real thing is she's been like resenting you for so long.
Yeah.
And that's why she's not sad after the relationship. She glows up.
Yeah. Glow
she
up
already
is real.
did her
she
grieving,
did her grieving while
in
she
the
was,
relationship.
While you were
yeah,
literally
isn't that fucked up?
When I learned that, I was
it's
like,
great.
yeah, I was like, why didn't I do that?
No,
but I also was the one who got broken up with, so.
Yeah.
Oh, my last relationship, I swear to God, I gave him for like 8 months. I was like, I'm unhappy. And the way that this man was surprised when I finally pulled the plug, like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been saying this every day for months. Like,
Yeah, but one of the things that a lot of men lack is presence,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're active, they're in their masculine, they're doing everything, right? And presence is actually, this is a state of presence. So we can be present with each other right now. And if you're present, you really understand how your woman's feeling and like, oh, this is over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can always tell by her face. I feel like the mark of a good relationship is literally Samantha Jones from Sex and the City said it best. Are you frowning or are you smiling, basically?
Yeah.
And like, if I'm always crying and I'm always looking like I want to die and I'm looking like shit. By the way, you'll never see a girl in a bad relationship and she has glowed down. If her sparkle is gone, she's unhappy.
Really? You think that?
I had friends tell me when I was in a really bad toxic relationship, like, I want to just tell you, like, you seem different. Like, you don't seem like your sparkly little self.
What about the girls that get so comfortable they don't dress up anymore and they're not sparkling?
Oh,
anymore?
you know what?
It's the
That's the
same.
same.
I think
Very
they're happy.
similar.
Not always.
Well, okay, I hear what you're saying.
Comfortability is different than unhappiness.
Yeah, I do. I also, though, like, I've lived with a partner and I look like a troll 95% of the time at home, to be completely honest.
Right.
I don't do a beat every day.
Right.
But I was happy. So your point, yeah, at the time, it was just, comfortable. It took me a while to get there because like I said, guys, I did not have eyebrows before. So I was doing my eyebrows. Like that was the one thing I had to do.
Not the albino look.
Yeah. I know.
I want to see pictures.
But no, I don't have those. They burned. Yeah.
We're going to find them.
But I feel like I was comfortable and happy. So I didn't feel like I had to get ready. It was like equal, but I still liked to get dressed up if we left the house and like look good there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's confusing for men, right?
Really?
It's, like if you say it's obvious, right? You're glowing. If a girl's glowing down, we're just like, oh, she feels secure and safe and comfortable.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, she doesn't want to go out anymore. She's always in her sweats, and therefore I'm not making plans anymore.
Well, is that because he already just stopped making the plans, and that's why she just started to stop
Guys
getting ready?
inherently don't want to make plans to begin with.
Okay, wait, hold on. There is actually a movement online right now that is like showing how the glow down is, though. There's different levels to glow downs, right? Like if you're just comfortable, you're in your sweats because y'all are getting way too comfortable staying in and doing nothing. Different. If you're getting comfortable staying in and doing nothing and you're having sex all the time, different. But the way that I'm talking about the glow down is like it affected all aspects of me, like my skin, my hair. Like my hair was literally falling out. Like I would literally see it on the floor. Like
sorry
I'm
to
dying.
laugh. Yeah,
No,
I
dude,
mean, like a guy has to be. Most guys are so not present that they don't see this, or they're taking their girl for granted.
Well, I kept telling him I don't feel good and I have a thyroid disorder. So everyone thought it was my thyroid. And my thyroid levels are fine. And the doctors are like, you know what? Maybe you're just fucking psychotic. Like there's that too.
Maybe you're just miserable.
I really feel like it was just like an immense amount of like sadness and depression from trying to fix something that it was like putting a square into a circle. Like that's what it's like when you're in the wrong relationship and you keep trying to fix it. It's like, let me just shove this thing in here, even though it doesn't fit. Let me just like, make it fit. Like it's horrendous. And that's why you die inside. You die inside.
You die a little bit inside. I think that's fair.
How do you think that men should think about mental health and how should they like try to maintain it when they're in a relationship?
In a relationship or when they break up?
No, right now we're talking about they're in it. Like how should they frame their mindset?
How old is the man?
We're 30s. Apparently middle-aged.
We're middle-aged, I guess. She just told me this.
Yeah, if you're in your mid-30s and older, at like mid-30s and 40s, you're middle-aged. Because who's living to 100?
No, but it's a big difference for a man that's over 40.
Yeah.
Because over 40, you don't have your friends anymore.
Yeah, they've all married
friends
off.
Either married or they're just doing their own thing. They're with their women. They're like, some men are like, okay, I haven't made enough money or the amount of money that I want, and therefore I'm leaving a city that's expensive, or I have a wife and kids, or I have a girlfriend and I'm like moving out for more space and land. Other guys are like, okay, yeah, I'm still a little bit of a playboy. And like I'm in the city, but my friends have left. So a man over 40 is the loneliest man.
Yeah.
So, he is often, battling all sorts of things. So after the breakup, that guy has a much harder time than the guy who's 30 that can call up his bros and go to the bar.
Yeah. What about like, is it the same when you're getting to the end of your 30s? Or like middle 30s as a guy?
All the research is showing that like mental health for 40 and over. But maybe the end of your 30s as well. So it's, so after the breakup, it's significantly different because the guys that are over 40 have to go like, there's a loneliness epidemic for men.
Yeah. Well, actually, I read a statistic today that said suicide is highest for men in their 30s and 40s because that's when they're going through economic change, like in their careers are getting more stressful, their relationships are getting more heavy. And that's the subset of age where suicide is the highest, apparently, which is so crazy.
Okay, there's two things, right?
Yeah.
Because often what women see is a guy.
Yeah.
Guys are actually a little bit more dynamic than that, most people think, right? And maybe not with their emotions, but with their stages of life.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stages of life. For example, like depending, like a 30 and 40-year-old man's much different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much different.
How is it different?
Yeah, like what's different for 30 versus 40?
Well, the amount of friends that you keep is one thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? Because like their friends are always like around when they're in their 30s. Everybody's on the same playing
that's
field.
one thing. Oh, and then so there's a couple things. One is the man firmly in his masculine?
Okay, let's talk about what that means.
Yeah, I want to touch on that before you get deeper.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Okay, so you and I all have our masculine and feminine,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Our masculine and feminine energies,
Okay.
right? And so our masculine energies are rooted. They're strong. They're powerful. They're pushing. They're calm. They're capable, right? And when you're like firmly rooted in your masculine, you're not really worried. You're not needy,
Yeah.
right? You're getting shit done, but you're also like the tree. You have deep roots.
Yeah.
And when you're kind of in your feminine, you're more water or wind. You're flowing and you're sensitive and you have like the ability to nurture and care, right?
Yeah,
and we both
absolutely.
have it, right? You know, masculine women and masculine men usually don't do well. And then a masculine woman and a feminine man probably doesn't do well either.
Yeah.
But if a man is like deeply rooted in his masculine, then he'll go out and find ways to feel better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If not, then he's going to dwell. He's going to dwell in his pain, right?
Okay.
The other thing is does he have presence or not? Is he like worked on his consciousness or not? And the third thing is his age. What season is he in of his life? Because a 30-year-old guy is going to say, fuck it, I'm going to go see my friends and we're going to drink and we're going to do whatever we do. And like, that's very masculine in your 30 or in a 40-year-old, you're like, okay, I don't have many other relationship outlets to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like my friends that are 40 sometimes are literally going to the absolute worst sources for their questions about their relationship. Like they're asking their most degenerate, drug addicted single friend, like, should I get married? And it's like, read the room and go to your like securely in a relationship friends, like married. Like this isn't the person to be taking advice from. But I sometimes feel like they're aware of that on some level and they want someone to tell them what they want to hear. Is that something that happens?
Do men want to be told what to do?
Well, do they want to hear what they want to hear? Like, are you aware of the source you're going to? Like,
I think we all have a bias that we want to hear what we want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
So, like, would you go to your most degenerate scumbag friend for relationship advice if you're trying to leave a relationship?
I don't know who I'd go to, but usually I think the best kind of source is, to get the other perspective. So, the female friend. And that's why people are, in a relationship. That's why people get so offended by friendships that are of the opposite sex while you're in a relationship.
So you think that to be in a secure relationship as like a heterosexual man, you have to be like very firm in your masculine, but still have like feminine tendencies?
I think you have to be very masculine.
Very masculine only.
Yeah. Not macho.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying like.
But you have to be masculine.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we're
I think that women test your masculinity.
Do masculine men go to therapy?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay, love.
Yeah.
The way he said that. Okay,
yeah, because masculine men don't care.
Yeah, thank
what you think.
Okay.
So they're not the ones saying that they don't believe in therapy? That's the feminine
Those
men?
are the macho men.
Those are the that's the false masculine. That's the ego.
Got it. Okay.
The ego driven.
Okay.
Like the masculine man is like, yeah, I can go to feminine. I can go to therapy and I can take care of my woman.
Love that.
Yeah.
Like I can literally take care of you and like please you and give you your needs because I don't have to play a game because if you leave me, I'm going to be fine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. And I can go to therapy too because I don't care what anybody thinks about me going to therapy.
So what's an example of like a feminine man in a relationship?
Needy.
Oh, like an anxious.
Nurturing. What? Pleasing you. No, not pleasing you as in giving you what you need,
Oh,
but
like afraid of
how
you.
can I please you?
Oh,
kind
my
of
God.
like someone you can walk on, walk over in a sense because they're doing everything for you sort of without expectation and you can take advantage of that. Like the nice guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I think there's nuances to this.
I wouldn't say
Totally.
nice guy. I would say more like, to really sum it up, a simp. Like,
I think everybody has different views of what a nice guy is, right? Because a nice guy, I think a lot of people think like, well, that's a pushover.
No, I love a
Right,
nice
okay.
guy. You have to be nice to me. You're not going to win me over by being an asshole.
Yes, but a masculine man can be nice to you.
Yes, exactly. But that's a nice guy.
But is it
No.
nice or is he like looking out for your needs and like almost in a protective way?
I mean, there's levels to nice guys, of course. There's a nice guy that treats people with respect, but also if you test him in situations that matter, he won't stand for it. Versus somebody who is like a literal simp that will be like, okay, take my money. I'm not gonna take hers too. Like, like that's a simp to me. That's like too nice.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So how should you go about leaving a relationship?
As a man?
As a man. Like, what are the steps?
I guess, what does that look like? Because like you said, women will stay forever and then be done.
Immediately.
What does that time frame look like for men? Is it sort of like, you know what, I think I should end this relationship and then tomorrow they're out, or what?
Yeah.
I think that men have trouble actually talking about and confronting the fact that they're not happy in the relationship.
Yeah. I would.
Right.
I would
so
totally
like,
agree
I
with
was
that.
this way.
Yeah.
I was married once.
Yeah.
I packed up all my shit, moved it out, and was like waiting for her to say, we're done. And she was like, we had both known that like it was over, but like literally I did not want to deal with the emotional fallout. So I packed up all my stuff in the apartment and I moved it while she was at work to another apartment.
Oh my God.
And when she got home, I was like, all right, this is it.
I've moved out, but can you say I want a divorce?
I moved out. And it's like, yes, this is it. We've been talking about this is it. And I don't think that's the appropriate way to do it.
No.
But that was the way that I felt would have, I was fearful of that emotional outburst.
Do you mind if I ask at what age that was?
That was at 28 years old.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well,
that was young.
That fits a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at 28, I don't even think I would have been that polite about it.
I don't think anybody should get married until after 30.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I have obviously a very different perspective than most.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot. No, I agree with that. So, okay. So if you're a man that's like 30s, 40s, right? Like, is a text appropriate? Is like picking up and moving your stuff out appropriate? Like, obviously we should have face-to-face conversations if we're in a serious relationship. But what do you say? Because I think a lot of people are afraid, like you said, of the outburst, even at that age.
Yeah, we're afraid. Not only were we afraid of hurting the other person, we're afraid of their response to the hurt.
Of course, we're going to cry.
Right? And so
immediate fire.
And right. And men don't men ultimately want to like protect and nurture a woman. So that's why it's so effective when you cry. Right?
Oh, I've been with people where it was very ineffective.
Yeah, because what happens? All the fear, right? And they're like either run away or they get angry.
Yeah.
There's something underneath, right? Because it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
What do I do with this?
Oh yeah.
Right? One is I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not good enough. And therefore, I don't know how to handle this emotion. So I think a lot of people, so basically you have to just build up the courage to like hold space for that, knowing. David Deida is a writer of The Way of the Spiritual Man.
Okay.
And for any guy that's listening to this, just read that fucking book.
Did you hear that, guys? Get the fucking book.
Read
get the audio book.
Read the book. Read the book. And don't get the audio book. Actually, read
the fucking book.
And so he's like, you're a woman. And he's come under attack lately, and there's like students of his that have dumbed it down a little bit to be a little bit more progressive. But he's like, your woman is the wind, and if you think that you can control a hurricane, you're wrong. All you can be is a deeply rooted oak, and knowing your strength in that. So like when that wind is blowing every leaf off the oak tree, you can stand and stand in your masculine, in your strength, and know that like, all right, that's the wind.
I like literally love that.
Yeah, I do too.
That is so great.
And so what that translates to is fucking get the balls and have a conversation that you're unhappy and you're leaving.
Pick them up off the floor,
guys.
guys.
And she may get upset, and okay, but she has to work through those emotions, and you'll feel better about yourself. Right? One of the ways we slip into our feminine is we start to like, we feel like we're not a man. And what's like, when do you feel like you're not a man? Well, you don't live up to integrity.
Yeah.
You're not in your presence. You're not in integrity. You find yourself avoiding conflict and lying. right? And men, we're like warriors. We want to go to fight and to be in our integrity and honor. That's what we've been raised to believe that we should be.
Yeah.
So I actually, this is all really interesting because also myself, I seek therapy from a woman just for my own personal.
Oh, I've only had male therapists.
It's interesting to me because, hold on, now I lost it.
Sorry.
No, because so when my relationship, I could tell it was not doing well. I even made it a point and be like, I feel like you're breaking up with me soon because you don't know how to be a boyfriend. No, not at all. 2 weeks later, that was exactly what he said to me. So me trying to verbalize and have that conversation, I felt like he avoided and ran and also lied.
Yeah.
Because he's a feminine.
Yeah.
We've heard the stories. He's definitely in his feminine energy in all of them. So we know.
That's when you're confronted with anything and you know that it's causing someone pain, you're immediately like, no.
Yeah.
How do I get out of this situation? That's your first response. There's very few people that would probably be like, you know what, you're absolutely right. This is over now.
We were also on vacation, so.
He doesn't want to ruin the vacation.
Of course.
God, what a fucking time.
An animal.
Wait, I have a question for you because obviously there's a lot of women, especially in a city like New York, that are ambitious and probably more in their masculine energy.
Yeah.
How does that work with a masculine man?
You ever hear women in New York that can't find a man?
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Is there no masculine ones here?
Is that because
No, it's not about being more masculine. Even the most masculine man is only attracted to the feminine.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That you have to be stupid and not make any money?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I actually do think that because I felt like when I was worse off and literally broke, I was such an adorable little damsel in distress to men. And the second I could take care of myself, I feel like it was I don't want that one.
My niece and her friends are uber successful.
Yeah.
Double Ivies, started their own companies, VC funded, and they're like, we have to dumb ourselves down when we date.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and sometimes they act stupid or whatever they do. And they're like, when do you pay? And do you pay? And all the stuff. And I'm like, oh boy, this city, especially in the 30-year-old dating is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Thank you.
The way that I had to change my title on dating apps and literally change it from owner of a company to events. And I got so many matches I'm a flight attendant or something because everybody thinks I'm adorable. She plans events.
Yeah.
It's
so here's
cute.
the thing though, right? You can both be successful and feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Because
But you have to be with a masculine man.
Because, you can bring out a man's masculinity.
Well, he can bring out your femininity.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It goes both.
Yeah.
But all a man really want, we have it in our DNA. What do we want to do? Serve and protect. Right? So if we feel like you get all your shit together and then you're criticizing us too because we're not fucking moving fast enough because our plates are in the sink, and what? Where is the serve and protect there?
My ex went from me to somebody who's completely unemployed and has nothing to do and has nothing going on and literally probably loving his life.
Yeah.
Because she just can be there to cater to him.
Yeah. Maybe. But so that's just what women who are listening and men who are listening, this does not mean that you can't be a superstar and make $1 million. I'm sure. Listen, I don't know, man, if you came to the relationship with a few $1 million that you were willing to openly be generous with. I don't know. God. There's no man that's going to be oh, I wish you didn't earn any money. But there's also a way to show your femininity.
Yeah.
Right. And that is allow the man or show the man that you want him to open the door and pay for the check. It doesn't matter if it's my sister, my cousin, my niece, or a friend that I'm out with that's a woman. I pay the bill.
Yeah.
And that's just because, what woman likes to go digging through when they're out with a man, go digging through their wallet, go halvesies.
Oh.
It's just not cool.
They do that.
So actually though, okay, you're saying that you don't allow them to pay anyways or you don't let them pay. Do you have a preference if they do the fake out even? If it's a first date, if they pretend to go for their wallet, are you no, or are you getting it before regardless?
No, I think women do that to be polite and it's not needed because they want to be wait, everybody knows that that's not real.
There is a very large population of men that will sit there.
That will take it, yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right, is that we've all been conditioned, especially in this city, And so I guess this podcast can start to train people differently.
100%.
But it's like there's a few things. If you want to like stand in your masculine, then there's a few things that you can easily do that signals to the woman. You can relax. And then the woman will test your shit.
Okay.
And then you can like either take the bait on that and break down.
Wait,
Right?
so, but like, what are they then?
Just try opening a door. Just
Okay.
try paying for the bill, not even questioning that. Just try to make the arrangements for the restaurant, ask her on vacation, don't ask her to do shit. Now, when you're in an actual relationship and you want a partner and you want her to like get the flights and all that stuff, that's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll show up so easily as like more than if you're already treating me like that.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
that if you're treating me 50-50, that I will like be dormant.
Yeah.
Like I will not plan.
You know, but in your sexuality too, it's like, there's this movement around like asking, right? And I think that you should ask, like,
Yeah.
clearly you're not overstepping your bounds and pushing, but every time you're really asking, like, can I kiss you now? It's
Yeah.
like, who likes that?
No,
Oh my God.
I know. Like,
I mean, come on.
I
just
have a
do
story
it,
that's
but
horrible.
also like obviously only if I want it. I mean, I'll say no
Yeah,
if I
that's
don't
what
want
presence
to.
is.
Yeah,
No.
right. Paying attention,
Right.
like reading the room.
Yes.
No, the way that I
Read the
had
room.
someone ask me for consent once at the literal worst time that I was like, are you for real?
Can I touch your breast?
Like I was like,
Like-
are you okay, dude? Like it's good. We're
There's
sober.
nothing that like everybody's like that took like we've all seen the movies and read the books. Like let's
Yeah.
pull my hair a little bit, but you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to like so. There's a few things there, and it's like
Yeah.
it goes down
It's
to
fear.
like confidence and the fear.
It's fear.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Well, I also think that's like a big reason why I think a lot of men are, I feel like a lot of men are afraid of their own mental health, honestly. I feel like for some reason the male population is raised to be like embarrassed to talk about things, afraid to ever elicit like any type of emotion to be judged.
Yeah.
Like I also kind of just feel like a lot of people are, in the male population and the heterosexual male population is all I'm talking about right now, are a little unaware.
Yeah.
So like, how do we overcome these things to like help our mental health?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's why kind of the dawn of the coach
Yeah.
has
like,
been really good for men. The dawn of the coach has been really good for men because before when you're like a therapist, and maybe
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
I'm not broken, and who am I going to give my like my feelings to, and I can't talk to my bros about this. And it's
Right.
like I have some. Well, I'm in kind of like this consciousness movement now,
yeah.
right? So like we're all like talking about our emotions too often. But I have like a buddy since I was in third grade that like his dog died. And he was crying, and it was hard for us to like
Mhm.
experience his extreme sadness. And I'm like, that's all I do with men. I'm like, come here,
Yeah.
Aw.
show me, open it up. This is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
But we had that relationship where it's like because I've known him for most of my life when we were still, unevolved men. I can't be in a relationship where he's like crying. It really
Yeah.
felt awkward.
Yeah.
So like we have to, that's what the dawn of the coach is. Now you can go to a coach and someone can pull it out of you.
A coach.
Instead of a
I
therapist.
love that.
So I feel like I find men, like I try to see if men are in therapy or what they're doing for their mental health. And a lot of them I feel like, well, I don't need therapy. And I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't have there's nothing for me to talk about. And I find that just to be so bizarre because I feel like all of us can have something to talk about.
yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone is just totally healed from birth to adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't
mean,
think,
that's interesting.
yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you need to
that's-
perpetually be in therapy.
No,
Like
but
you can
like-
take breaks. Sometimes I showed up to the sessions and I'm like, look, I've got nothing to say today. And that's how I knew I needed a little bit of a break.
But
for a
those
second.
days are honestly the days I get a lot out if I don't have normal stuff to talk about. That's how we get back to the childhood fun stuff.
Yeah. And, that's the difference in what I do. Meaning we'll look back in the rearview mirror a little bit, figure out what your childhood stuff is. But we're only looking now and forward.
Mm.
Right? Because if you have a neural pathway that says this is my trauma and this is my story and this is my
Mhm.
pain and this is why I'm fucked up like this,
Yeah.
and then this is my patterns. Everything in our life is a projection of our beliefs and patterns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well-
Change your thoughts, beliefs, and patterns. You have an entirely different life.
Yeah, well, that also goes to my point about awareness. If guys are saying they don't need therapy, well, like that's like saying like I don't ever need to learn anything again in my life. I know everything. Like that's a level of unawareness.
Or maybe it's the perception of it. Maybe if you said, most guys have played sports, and so if you said maybe you need a coach.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, what's a coach do?
Yeah, is it like a business coach or is it different than that?
Yeah.
I coach. I coach on so many different levels.
A lifestyle coach?
Yeah,
is that like kind of?
I coach mostly business, but I always use hypnosis.
Yeah.
Always use hypnosis because like, okay, you can really open some things up.
Do you only or primarily work with men or you work with women as well?
Of my private clients, it is 60% men.
Wow. Okay,
Wow,
good.
I love
of my
that.
groups,
Yeah.
because men don't get into groups and talk about their feelings. I have 99% women.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
it's because he's giving Stamos.
They're all coming in. They're coming in for the face
They're
card.
like, oh, hello. Okay, so in summation, what do you think that men need to be doing better at to kind of regulate at this age?
Remembering who they are, like really stepping into their confidence.
Yeah.
And just actually visualizing that they have roots going into the soil,
Yeah.
all the way into the middle of the earth.
Okay.
And accepting that we are actually divine creatures, right? We actually this is a soul having a human experience.
I love that.
And this is the school of life. And it's difficult. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Just stay grounded. Read David Deida.
Oh my God, the way I'm
Meditate
buying that.
every now
Yeah.
and then. All right, get a coach, meditate. And if you're breaking up with your girlfriend, just be open and honest. She's not going to kill you.
Yeah, and do
and
it
you'll
in
feel
person.
better about yourself. Do it in person for sure. A text breakup?
Yeah.
God, if that was acceptable, wouldn't that be easy?
I mean,
I actually have a question though too. I want to reframe it as like how quickly men get on the apps after they break up with a long-term
Immediately.
partner. What's that about? Distraction?
No,
Distraction.
well, first of all, by the way, I get on the apps immediately. Like, why is it only men? I don't want to be home alone doing nothing, and I'm not one of those girls that cries. So what am I doing?
Well, after I
you're
got
in
broken
your
up with,
masculine, huh?
I was working on myself, so I didn't
No, I
want to
just
be
get-
on the apps.
Okay. That's very feminine of you.
Like,
Thank you.
That's not everyone.
No, he said feminine and you were in your masculine. That's all. That's all he
Totally.
said.
Whatever. I want to like go have fun.
Whatever she said.
Why do you want to be sadsies? Let's go have fun.
I wanted to work on myself and figure out what it was about the relationship that worked for me and didn't, and also how I showed up in that relationship. And I wasn't going to do that by getting underneath somebody else.
Well, hold on.
Because I've done that and it didn't work.
We talked about how for 8 months I'm sitting there crying
Right.
in therapy.
We're talking
working
about
on myself.
you getting broken up with is where I meant.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not.
What do you mean
been
by underneath someone else? Meaning just going
Yeah,
out and
we're
have
not
sex with
Hooking
someone?
up, yeah. Getting over someone by getting under someone else.
I like that statement.
Yeah, you've never heard
doesn't-
that?
No, I haven't.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
older
to get
than you
over
guys.
someone, you've got to.
That doesn't work, does it?
No, it
that
doesn't.
work.
It doesn't work, but it is a distraction, and the distractions add up to the point where one day you just stop thinking
It's
about
all a
that
distraction.
person.
I mean, how many times
Yeah.
have you matched 100? You got 50, 150 even matches in your whatever dating app, and you're still swiping instead
Yeah.
of like digging deeper
Well,
into like who you're with.
That's the biggest problem with apps, and we actually
What?
went over that.
You went over that in another?
Mhm.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys want to be
unfortunately.
hypnotized?
So I do want to get hypnotized, but
Yeah.
maybe we should
Can you? No, we should do it. Hypnotize us.
Okay.
are we going to say weird things?
Yeah, like
I'm so nervous.
no, I want to be hypnotized.
I
Hypnotize
think
me.
hypnosis works for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want him to do me and you watch?
No, let's do it together.
Can you do two together?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, let's go. All right.
What do you
you know
mean
what?
by
That
that?
sounded so bad when I heard it.
It sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, so I mean, hypnosis, we go into hypnosis all the time, every day.
Okay.
So hypnosis is just a state of looking in. So you think that I'm going to make you act like a chicken, you're going to be able to do that.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. And that is possible for some people.
Okay.
That's clearly not what we're going to do on your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, wait. So how do we do this? How do we set up?
So I think anybody that's listening can take a minute and do this too.
Okay,
Okay.
amazing.
And it's kind of like, what do you want to achieve with kind of hypnosis? And it's kind of like a lot of people have these crazy limiting beliefs. And, I've worked with people in one session, they've been changed. Their OCD is gone. Their fear of flying is gone. They're like ready to go out there and
Love this.
and do things.
Okay.
Right? And so what is hypnosis? It's like a deeper state of focus.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Okay.
And when you have a deeper state of focus, you can start to talk to those things that are working for you. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
And
Let's do it.
take your hands like this. And everybody listening or anybody who's watching this can do this too.
Mm-hmm.
So you just simply take your hands like this. And then you can just put your fingers up like this, right? And now just raise your thumbs up to your nose. And spread your fingers as far apart as possible. And as you spread your fingers apart as far as possible, just look through the space in your fingers. That's it. And as you look through the space in your fingers, just focus. That's all you have to do on the space in your fingers. And as you focus on the space between your fingers and you listen to my voice, you may notice that your fingers just naturally start to come together. And as they come together as though I put strings around them, they come closer and closer, moving further and further. You give yourself permission. And when they touch, your eyes will just simply close. And as your fingers come closer and closer, it's almost as if strings are around there and you give yourself permission to allow your fingers to come closer. It's almost as though I'm pulling that string tighter and tighter until they're closer and closer. And when your fingers shut, your eyes will close and your hands will just drop in your lap. And allowing yourself just to notice that your fingers come closer and closer, and you may fight it or it may go back and forth, or just allowing, and when they touch, your eyes will close and they'll fall in your lap gently. And as they fall in your lap gently, all you have to do is listen to my voice, and your brain may wonder or wander, but you'll still listen to everything that I say. And the more relaxed that you get, the deeper you go. And the deeper you go, the more relaxed you get. And you may even notice that there is almost a warmth coming into the top of your head as you feel yourself sinking down now, even further, heavier and heavier in the chair that you're in. But as you sink down, you can still stay completely firm with your neck straight. And I wonder if you can rest now your attention on your right foot. And I wonder if your right foot is heavier than your left foot, or if your left foot is the right foot that's heaviest. But it doesn't really matter. It just allows you to go deeper. And the deeper you go, the more relaxed you get. And the more relaxed you get, the deeper you go. And your mind may wander, but you'll still listen to every word that I say. That's right. And as that energy flows down around your eyes, it just simply seals them tighter. So tight, in fact, that you may even try to open your eyes, but the harder you try, the harder it becomes, and that's okay. Deep sleep. Good. Going down now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep sleep. Good. That's right. Now I want you to know that you're feeling very relaxed. So relaxed even that there is a light shining towards you, as if you're floating, and as you float, this light shines so brightly, so beautifully. See the color of this light. And when you know the color of this light, just nod your head gently. Good. As that light comes even further, even more, even brighter, it fills every cell in your body. Every nerve ending, every neural pathway, every muscle, tissue, and fiber, this light flows through so much, this blissful energy, flowing it all through your body with this color. And as that color becomes more and more, brighter and brighter, noticing to lock it in. Locking it in now. And as you do lock it in, you can just simply think of that color to bring that bliss back, bringing that color through you. You can feel it again. And as you feel it, you begin to smile even more. And as you smile even more, you feel that ecstasy again as it's flowing through you, the heat of it, the warmth, the vibration of it, even more. And as I count to 3, it will be at its max, hard to even control. 1, 2, 3, all the way, flowing through. You remember that feeling. Good. Locking it in now and starting to come back to this world. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Eyes wide open and awake. Okay. What was your color?
The first snap
What was
you
your
did
color?
kicked me out of it. I don't know what happened.
What was your color?
Gold.
Yeah. And how did you feel?
Warm.
And now here's what you'll notice is that when you see gold anywhere else in the world, text me and tell me the feeling that comes back to you.
Okay, I'll do that.
Shit, why didn't it work for me?
Because you wouldn't allow it to.
Well, you snapped and it kicked me out.
I thought you were with me that whole time.
I was until he snapped and I thought I was supposed to wake up. Like, I just like literally, I don't know.
The
I need to do it
smiles
again.
were I could not pull that back. It was weird.
Oh my God, what does that say
Could you
about
open
me?
your eyes when I said you may even try to open your eyes?
You know, I don't know. I didn't know I was supposed to really try that hard. I could tell that they were heavy though.
Yeah. And so when I brought back the memories of, the bliss, the ecstasy, and then the friendship, and mentioned the smile, could you hold the smile back?
No.
Okay. And so how did you remember it as if it was happening right then?
It was still more of a memory.
And then could you feel it in your body anywhere?
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that me?
No. And we all are either very physical, like when you are, when you're angry at someone, or you get in an argument, do you think about the argument for a very long time
Forever?
afterwards?
Yeah.
Well, she's a baddie and a saddie.
Yeah. And so how about you? Do you feel it in your body?
No, it dissipates literally the next day.
Yeah. So oftentimes we conceive of things in our brain and our head and like the energy around it. And other times people just feel like they don't even think about it. All they do is feel sick. They feel so much anger. And so it makes sense that if you didn't feel it in your body, but you felt it in your head, the memory came back fully. You couldn't help yourself from smiling. But when you see the color gold now, it's called an anchor, what I put in there. Anytime that like over the next week or whatever it is, when you feel sad or you just want to bring up like that laughter and that smile, because it exists within us all the time. Carry something gold, look at something gold, and it'll bring it back for you.
Love that.
Wait, so what do you do if you can't get hypnotized?
You can certainly
Am
get
I
hypnotized.
dying?
At this, with bright lights and a camera at this place right now,
Yeah.
I guarantee you I could hypnotize you. There's
Okay.
never been one person I couldn't. Even the people that are so against it.
All right. We've got to do it again. Because, I felt like overstimulated. The ADHD is thriving right now.
Those are the people that can be hypnotized the easiest.
Oh yeah. No,
Interesting.
I'm very on edge right now.
I actually could feel myself being able to separate my brain from like its normal ruminating thoughts or whatever to
Totally.
just focusing in on your voice.
Yes.
Because normally I feel like I have a million thoughts at the same time.
Hypnosis is a greater sense of focus.
Yeah.
That's all it is. People think you're out cold, that kind of thing. It's a greater sense of focus so that you can like focus in on what's truly important and then make some changes instead of the chatter.
Okay. So to sum up,
Sum up.
so
Get a coach.
with men,
Be a man.
okay, they need to be in their masculine energy to have secure relationships.
They need to be
And-
both.
Well, she said masculine.
I think that you need to really get a handle on your masculine energy,
Yeah.
but also have both.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. You be flexible,
Yeah,
but don't be a simp and don't be too macho.
Yes.
Find a happy medium.
Yeah, I've
It's so
summarized
easy.
it for you.
That's it. That's it.
And
Okay.
if you can get hypnotized, get after it.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody
So
can get hypnotized.
in the comments, I want to hear about how you guys feel about this, right? Okay. So like, do you feel like you can identify if you're in your masculine or your feminine? Do you think you're aware enough to? And also hit Jim up for some hypnosis?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Coaching,
Jim.
or join one of my groups.
Wait.
Here's the weird thing. I have so many incredible, beautiful women like in these groups. More
Yeah.
beautiful, smarter, more evolved, more spiritual, all single, looking for men.
Do you hear that,
and
men?
never join.
Do you hear that, man?
They
That is
never
so
join.
It's so
crazy.
funny. It's
They
like,
never
oh my
join.
God.
All the hotties are going to Stamos' house.
Yes. Okay. So Jim,
Join one of
Jim
these
is,
online groups.
Yeah, Jim is swimming in it. Okay. So Jim, what is your handle?
Yeah, let us know where we can find you.
Yeah.
Jim Curtis one.
Jim Curtis 1. Okay. And
On
you'll find
Instagram.
Uncle Jesse. Thank you guys so much for coming back and listening to us yet again. Thank you so much, Jim, for coming. And if you're not already following, it's at MissJudged Podcast, all one word, 2 S's. Like, subscribe, 5-star reviews only. Tell your friends, tell your fam. See you next week.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.